all my clients' feedback's important. That's why I was able to evolve my product so fast within a year, because I listened to them. And because I listened to them, knowing what to improve on and add in to make this better product.
Hey, superfans, superstar, Freddy D here. In this episode 177, we're joined by Michael Leung, founder of the Flow Group in Calgary, Canada. Michael tackles a challenge that's often overlooked but deeply felt. Millions of people struggle with hearing loss, yet traditional solutions are expensive, stigmatizing, and out of reach, especially for low and middle income communities. Driven by his own journey living with retinitis and pigmentosa, and shaped by overcoming trauma, PTSD, ADHD, addiction, and nearly bankruptcy, Michael has turned adversity into purpose. He's redefined how people experience sound, including inclusive, open ear bone, conducting technology that makes hearing more accessible, affordable, and empowering. If accessibility, innovation, and real social impact matter to you, this conversation will hit home. Welcome, Michael, to Business Superfans, the Service Provider's Edge podcast. Great conversation we had before we started recording. Let's continue that conversation. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about the unique product, which we talked a little bit about. It's a unique hearing aid and helping people. What's the backstory? How did you even get started into that whole industry?
Yeah, I didn't actually know I was going to get into this industry till really the last couple of years. I come from a entrepreneur background, real estate, stocks. Right? I always wanted to have my own product, but I think my disability, my eye disability, really honed me into trying to find something that's in the same kind of socially impactful kind of idea, right? Like about 10 years ago, I had a serious retinal detachment. I almost lost my vision in one eye. And then I had a lot of complications and started noticing I was tripping on stairs, walking to walls. And at dinner time, when it was dark, I couldn't find my way back to the dinner table and feeling my ways in the washroom. So thought it was something wrong with me and went to check, and they found out that I have retinitis pigmentosa, which is a genetic mutation in my eye that's not curable. And I've lost my peripheral and my night vision on one side. So that's why I walk into things and trip on things, because I can't see the ground. I can't see up and down, left. So it's been tough getting used to that. And my ex-girlfriend had to leave me around everywhere. I don't want to be remembered like this. I wanted to use my disability and use it into a strength so that I could ponder some ideas with my cousin. She owns factories in Asia. They just sent me to different manufacturers, and we collaborated on different things and different samples. And I came to this idea of wanting to try something different than hearing aids. So I wanted something outside the ears instead of inside the ears, because there was not anything out there like this except for Shocks and like other brands that are bone conduction, but they only are used for talking on the phone and listen to music or streaming, and that's all they do. Mine does all that, plus we added the amplification into it, a special amplification, that now you can use it to aid hearing. So it becomes like a hearing aid, but I don't call it a hearing aid because hearing aids are hearing aids. Ours mainly an assistive hearing device, right? It enhances sound clarity. So basically it helps people that have mild, moderate to even severe hearing loss, and you wear it on the outside. So it sits in front of your ear on your cheekbone, right? The sound vibrations are amplified through the cheekbones into the inner ear. So if your inner ear still works and has some juice left in it, it's going to pick up those sound vibrations, right? So conductive hearing loss, it works perfect. People that have injuries, accidents, sicknesses, anything noise related, sound damage works very well. The sensor neural is the more tricky one, obviously, because it's the frequency levels, right? In our product, it has the dual amplification. You can actually change the volume, and it can actually help people up to severe hearing loss, but case by case, right? So I've actually had clients that doesn't work at all because their hearing is so bad, right? So there's limitations to this, but overall, I wanted to just have a product that can help people with disabilities and make their life better, create a better social impact, and something I can work with passion and it resonates with me too, right? Because I work with a lot of seniors. I see a lot of seniors during my times with my eye surgeries, and I really bonded with them. And I thought that was an industry I wanted to get into, really help them. But it wasn't until I started helping them, I started realizing a lot of them actually have hearing aids and they don't like wearing them. So they actually just have them and they just put them away. So therefore, they just go around with nothing. So that's why they have to yell and scream at people. And so they just like this new healthy option, something affordable that's under $300. So as obviously hearing aids are in the thousands, right? And
Sure.
not everybody can afford thousands of dollars, even a couple $100, some people can't afford. The majority of the world's population are low income. So what we're trying to do is work with different partnerships with different senior brands, and we're actually getting grants, and we're actually distributing very discounted headphones for people that have nothing. They don't have hearing aids. They just want something to use, and it's been working very well, right? People actually find this very useful. Quality is great. Nothing's in your ear, no earwax built up, no direct pressure, no damage. And it looks like a trendy, cool looking headphone with this built-in amplification now. So there's no stigma attached to it too.
You've gone through a lot of challenges and you've overcame them to point to the level of now you're actually giving back to people in helping them, even though your scenario is more eye orientated and stuff like that. You've found a niche that you can actually help people with. A very important aspect is hearing. And
Yeah,
because it can be just like as in vision, hearing is just as important, because if you can't hear stuff, it's detrimental, because like my mom has got some hearing loss, and we worry that she might not hear certain noises within the house, that she's got the TV on loud and someone may be knocking on the door and she's not going to hear that.
sure.
So I can
Yeah.
completely relate to the importance of hearing is just the same as vision.
There's a couple other things because of the open ear design, they're more aware of their surroundings, so they don't have to be worried about noises they can't hear. If someone's calling it from a distance, they can still hear them, right? Because it's an open ear design.
Right.
Because it actually helps people that are blind too. So I actually have two products. One is actually for the blind, and one is for the deaf people, right? The deaf community. When I say it helps the blind people, it's not that you can start seeing better. It's because when your sight is diminished, you need your hearing to be next
Right.
level. So now the hearing is now so important to them. So one product actually has background sounds, which seniors don't particularly like if they have hearing aids, right? So this particular product have background sounds. So people that have sight loss can use it as an asset now, as a benefit, because they use the background sounds to navigate, to be more alert and be aware of their surroundings. You want to hear the footsteps, the cups clicking, or like the doors slamming, like from a distance, so you know what's going on around you. So
Right.
that's actually an assistive hearing device for the blind. The hearing is obviously now I've improved the product like in all aspects, right? We made it more senior friendly. One button to turn it on, sliding button, and there's a dual volume control on both sides. You can actually operate both sides. One side also build one side deafness, right? So you want to make one side louder, one side not, right? There's a environmental mode, indoor, outdoor, local. So it changes the environment you're in, the sounds. And then there's also a noise reduction chip that we put in that minimize background sounds. So that's why this product has been trending so well. And everywhere I go, people are they're buying it because it's so comfortable. It's so inexpensive, and there's minimalistic background sounds and bone conduction. Everything's just a healthier, more affordable way of hearing. Now I have a product that helps people that are blind, people that are deaf, and it's such an inexpensive, valuable investment for people because you can have this as a backup, right? Even if you have hearing aids, you put them aside, don't have to worry about losing them. You don't have to worry about earwax buildup. You bring it up, bring it on a wedding or something. You can use this on the premises instead.
Let's take a quick pause to thank our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Ninja Prospecting, the outreach team that makes cold connections feel warm. Here's the deal. Most service business owners are drowning in spammy DMs and cookie-cutter LinkedIn messages that never get a response. Sound familiar? Ninja Prospecting flips that script. They craft human-first outreach that actually sounds like you, and more importantly, gets results. No bots, no fluff, just real conversations that open doors. If you want to stop wasting time on dead-end messages and start filling your pipeline with qualified leads, talk to my friend Adam Packard and his team. Head over to ninjaprospecting.com to schedule a chat today, and be sure to mention you heard about it right here on the Business Superfans the service provider's edge. And hey, if you're the kind of person who likes to get started right away, you can join their free community at school.com/ninja 7704. It's packed with tips to maximize your connections and start making the right new ones. All right, let's get back to our conversation. So let's go into a bit of a story of how you evolved and created this product, and then how you tested it, and then more importantly, how it's transformed people's lives. I want to hear more about that aspect of it.
So I work with most of the senior homes in the city, and we started off with maybe 2 or 3, and now it's expanded to 30 or 40 different senior brands because it's worked so well with them.
Is there a story of how it's transformed somebody?
Yeah, I work with a lot of seniors one-on-one. Doesn't matter if they're 10 years old, 95 years old. I work with all of them one-on-one, big groups, small groups. And I really take my time to work with them. Some of them I work with for weeks and months at a time. Like I have dementia patients where we do research and just make sure that they like the product, that they're actually familiar with the product. Because I don't want people having a product they don't know how to operate. So I really guide them, support them. They have my number. They call me anytime. And I really want them to love the product. And when the seniors actually come out of their comfort zone to want to learn new technology, that's what I encourage them, because a lot of them are stuck in their shell because they don't want to learn new technology. It's too hard. It's different. So I encourage them. This is new, but I've seen the results in people that actually have really opened up their minds about trying something new, and it's actually helped them like significantly.
So do you have, I'm looking for a little bit more specific, if you can, Michael, of how you've actually helped somebody to where they've become what I would call a super fan, a brand, an advocate of how you transform their life. Now they're helping you. They're your mouthpiece.
Yeah,
Helping promoting. So that's what I'm looking for. Is I'm looking for an actual story.
Helen, 88 years old, one of my first clients that I trialed. She, obviously, when I first met her, she was clinically deaf. She's actually one of my testimony videos, and I work with her even till today. She's like a second grandma to me, and she had issues because she lost her third pair of hearing aids, and she was down to pretty much to where she's, I don't want to spend any more money on hearing aids. I want to try your product to see if this works, right? And we weren't sure if it was going to work. And I worked with her, and lo and behold, she was able to hear right away. She was so deaf that she couldn't hear from far distances. Even she couldn't make out words. She had to rely on lip reading. And once she started putting my headphones on, she could hear things way more clearly. She can use it for talking on the phone because it's Bluetooth. It's connected to Bluetooth. So she was just in tears, and she even talks about how she was like, she didn't believe or expected this to work that well, and it did. And this was my first product. My second product worked even better for her because it's even more simple to use, more simplified version of my first one. So seniors love simplicity, right? Easier to use, it better. 1 button, 2 buttons, that's it. So because of the simplicity of the new product, her specifically, she just lavished with it. She's I'll never wear my hearing aids ever again. It's so comfortable. And because I worked with her so long, that I realized that another part of her was that she loves watching TV. She blasts her TV to the point where she gets noise complaints at home and from neighbors. So together, I'm like, okay, let's try this. And we couldn't pair with her TV. So then I needed to have my own Bluetooth transceiver, right? So I actually manufactured my own Bluetooth transceiver where other seniors like herself that blast their TV get noise complaints. Now we can connect it to the TV. All the sounds go cinematically through the transceiver as radio waves to her headphone directly, right? So now she can mute the TV, no more noise complaints, and she just sits there and watches TV all day and answer her phone call whenever it comes through. It's just back and forth. And if she wants to socially engage someone, then she turns the amplification on, that she socially engages with people, right? So now she feels included in conversations with family. She no longer feels excluded. She's feel empowered. She can talk to her grandchildren now. She's no longer relying on lip reading. She can hear herself talking. She's not yelling anymore. And because of that, I found that she was a great person to do a testimony video, and that's why
she's become a super fan of you.
Totally, yeah. Everywhere she goes, everyone knows Helen is the face of the brand pretty much. And I
You've
always,
transformed her life.
100%.
And once you do that, one thing about superfans that I tell people is that once somebody becomes a superfan, they're in it for life. They're in it for the whole ride. You look at sports teams and you've got their superfans and the team's losing and losing and losing. My perfect example is the Chicago Cubs. Everybody laughs about them, but their superfans stayed with them for 100 years before they finally won a championship. So what you've done is you've transformed her to become a lifetime superfan of how you've helped her gain her life back.
For sure. And I think she follows me. She followed my journey till this day. Anything I tell her, she's just one of my biggest supporters. When I see her, she runs up to me, gives me a big hug, and we took some selfies and stuff together. No one else I would do with any other client but her. And I had new products, I would give it to her for free just because she's my girl, my lady. And she, because of her, other clients, other seniors feel comfortable trying it because they see her as them. And her story is exactly like their story too, most of the time. And yeah, she's definitely my super fan, my biggest fan. Yeah.
Yeah, and so and the super fans will promote to everybody that they know, and they're happy to. They want to help because one of the things that in business, and I've been, like I say, around the block at least once, is your customers want you to be successful. They're invested in you, but you've got to allow them to be able to help you succeed. And a lot of times businesses don't look at that. They're on to the next transaction. And that's what I call as a transaction. And they forget the leverage that they've got from their whole customer base that's sitting there. And the ones that really explode their businesses are leveraging that customer base because they want to help you.
That's why I take all my clients' feedback important. That's why I was able to evolve my product so fast within a year because I listened to them. And because I listened to them, knowing what to improve on and add in to make this better product, that's why it's selling better than my first one. I've sold more in 1.5 months, equivalent to 2 years of my first one. That's how drastic of the change is because I listened to my super fans. I listened to the Helens out there that, hey, you need to improve this. This might not work. Like some people are very hard headed. I don't want to change anything. This is going to work. And they can sit there for 10 years, not going to work.
Because they're operating in a vacuum. And it's one of the things in the software space that I was in for decades. The companies that I saw that really excelled were the ones that were listening to their customers, adding functionality that the customers were asking about, versus this is the functionality we're creating because we think it's cool. That's wonderful. You like it, but your customer base could care less about it. Right. And so you missed the mark by a galaxy. The fact that you're taking the feedback from your customer base is important because one, it also gives them the opportunity to feel valued, that they're actually important to the whole conversation.
I actually learned on my own. All this news, like just creating my own business and just the entire business concept, I had to learn everything slowly by myself. But I've always been a good speaker, interacting with people. But to me, it's like, it's a given, right? To listen to your clients. And some people might be like, yeah, if you don't listen to the people that are going to buy your products, obviously you're not going to evolve and grow as a person or as a business, right?
No, because that's your growth engine. And the thing is that if you leverage that properly, it doesn't cost you anything. They're happy to be your champions. And that's where successful businesses really leverage that as an asset. And those that kind of flounder have the one and done mindset. Okay, I made the sale, that they bought that hearing aid, or they bought this thing, or they bought whatever, and they never hear back from you because that's the one and done mindset. You've just squandered a huge growth engine that's staring you in the face and you didn't ignite it, and it dissipates over time.
For sure. And for me, it's like I have the senior brand, but I will always come back to the full circle because right now I'm going to try the children with special needs because it works well with autistic children, but it also works with laborers. Tons of laborers have hearing issues. I'm a sponsor for the indigenous community. So I'm actually going many different directions because everybody needs something for sight and hearing. That's the two most important things in your life, right? And I want to make affordable, accessible products. So when people tell me they can't afford like hearing aids and they have to replace them after they lost them. That's a big chunk of money. Where are they going to come up with that money? So people that have money, they're going to be able to buy new ones, but majority of people just can't afford it and they just have nothing to work with. So they're just living life with just their hearing just keeps getting worse and worse. So that's what my goal is, to help people that are low income. And it's obviously people like Helen, because she's obviously more the low income. And they tell me about hearing aids. And I have nothing against any of that. I feel like it's always good, healthy, like competition, right? They might see me as a competitor. I'm a small peanut compared to them right now. Obviously, they've been in business for a long time, but they haven't really changed most of their concept over time. So a lot of people are like, it's still in the ear, it's still hooked in around my ear. It might be like a better quality or different brand, but like in all, it's still the same thing. They stick it in their ear. So some of them are like, we just don't want anything in our ear. With what is there out there? So this is what it is. It's outside the ear, no earwax built up. They don't have to worry about inside pressure, damage, anything. So this is all just going to be, it's a client preference, I think. There's obviously people that like hearing aids and then there's people that don't. So they don't, they'll call me and they like it.
Did you manufacture the stuff in Canada or did you manufacture that back overseas or a combination of both? How did you guys build those relationships?
So the relationship started from my cousin, like I said earlier. She
Right.
owns she owns an electronic factory, but she wasn't particular for this kind of electronics. So that's why she had to branch me off to other suppliers she knew that could handle big operations of this, because I had a big dream, big goals. I want this in retail, different parts of the world. For me, it's once we got the contacts, it was just about what their vision was and what my vision was. It just collided together perfectly. And they constantly like to keep evolving and make the product better and better. And I give them feedback about what I do with my seniors and what they should listen to me and to change. And they actually listen. So as they've been in business for way longer than I've been around, but they see that I'm a super fan maybe towards them because I actually promote this on an international level instead of, for them, it's just in Asia. So now I've actually brought it into Australia, Germany. Like I do podcasting all over the world, to TV shows, Dragon's Den next year. So they see the value in me, and I'm pretty much their branded. I've created my own brand, obviously. I rebranded it, but their product never got anywhere outside of Asia. So for me to go North America bound, they see me as that super fan that they want to keep close to them because I'm changing their brand and introducing it to the world, but under my own brand with trust and credibility now.
You formulated a partnership where you're becoming the face of the manufacturer and the developer of the technology. You're incorporating your feedback and your ideas based upon customer feedback into them. So it's helping them make their product better, but it's rebranded under your perspective and, or I should say brand. And now you're helping it get to the market space. So it's really a W for both of you guys because you're really got a synergy going on that enables you to grow, both of you grow on a global scale.
For sure. I always tell people that you should grow your brand organically. I don't grow my brand on Amazon and just hope for the best. Amazon competitors could kill your brand very fast, right? For me, is I want to grow it outside where I put the work in. See your own events all over the world. I'm going to different provinces to do events to promote it. I want to rely on growing my brand, just make it unique and genuine, right? Like people will see that I actually go out there and do these podcasts. I'm out there talk about my life journeys and even my mental health and addictions. I'll talk about everything just because I want to be honest with them.
That's how you get people engaged is you share your face plants in life. I've made one or two of them in my time. I know for a fact because they hurt. But the bottom line is, so one area I don't know if you've thought of, but have you looked at teaming up with different audiology clinics?
I've spoken to audiology clinics, and there's maybe most of them, I would say they're more on the hearing aid side. They're more left side than right side kind of thing. So a lot of them are pro hearing aid. So when they hear me, they will have they'll try to dissect it and just say, is this going to...
They get into all the technical aspects.
Yeah, it's actually, they're like, it's better if they get the hearing tested first. But what I wanted is where people can just pick off the shelf, they can just wear it and it works. They don't need to get a hearing tested. This is an assistive hearing device. So because of that, I don't want to make it medical. So the non-medical aspect is important to me, so I keep the price down. So once you make a medical, price goes up, all the testing, this and that.
Yeah, curious because
Yeah.
I see that as a potential. I thought that would be a potential opportunity. I'm a business guy, and I say,
Yeah.
okay, Jack can't afford the $5,000 hearing aids, and the $300 specials hearing aids aren't going to work for him, but perhaps your product could. So it's an alternative that they could. But I get it. Some businesses can't see further than their nose, and they're not open to alternative approaches. It's like going to a medical doctor and you talk about some alternative medication or alternative medicine, and they're going, that's not scientifically proven. Well, I
Yeah.
don't know. It worked.
I feel like it's almost like I'm the new kid on the block. And maybe till this time, no one's ever seen anything other than their product. I think it's also because I've tried 3 audiologists. 3 out of 3 were just right away. I could feel it. It was already, I was almost back in the corner. They just already had their minds made up. But some of them started breaking the walls. Oh, maybe something else could work too. But because I think they have their loyalty towards hearing aids for so long that think of anything else would
Well,
be
that's
almost.
good. That's all they know. You can
Uh,
understand. That's all they know. A lot of times they're not open to other ideas because I've gone in and I've asked when I've gone into the medical doctor says, "Hey, what about these vitamins or what about this other therapy that I heard?" I don't know nothing about it. I remember this doctor says, "I don't care about any of that stuff. If it's not medically proven, it doesn't count to me. It doesn't exist."
yeah.
Like, wait a minute, this radiotherapy that I did for my knee and all that stuff worked nicely, and I didn't have to take pills and everything else.
Yeah, it's funny. It's a fluke. It's a fluke or something. It's like,
Exactly. So
yeah,
what you're doing is you're really
breaking the barriers. That's what
you're
I'm trying
breaking
to
it,
say.
yeah, breaking the barriers. You're changing the dynamics, and
Of
you
the
know
traditional, yeah, what the traditional way of thinking of hearing.
you're flipping it
Yeah,
upside down, and
yep,
people are not ready for it in the traditional aspect. But there are other people that you're finding a market that is much more receptive to it because of the fact that it works, and more importantly, it's cost. I don't want to say cost effective, but it's not cost prohibitive. That's what I was looking for. To where, okay, I can afford to invest in this and it works, so I'm good. And it's okay. Yes, it's not as great as whatever, perhaps, but
yep.
it does what I need it to do. And that's really at
It
the end of the day, that's the important part is it's delivering and what it's supposed to do, which is improve.
exactly, because if they have nothing at all, automatically it's going to bring some kind of improvement. It's not going to make it perfect, just like hearing is not going to make it perfect, but it's not going to bring your hearing back. But obviously, it assists the hearing for a very fractional cost compared to hearing aids. And because I'm trying to cater to the general population of the world, that's why it works. Because 80, 90%, probably 70% is probably low income in the world. There's like way higher than that. And the fact that 1.6 billion people in the world have hearing loss at some point in their life, this is something that's it can go very broad in many different directions. That's why no one else is doing this, even till today. I've told that they Google and I'm still the only one that's doing it, which is great but I don't worry about competition, and I don't worry because I put the framework into it and I continuously will keep doing it. And anyone can come in with a product, doesn't mean it's going to sell. They need to really put the framework into it, and they can have an exact copycat of my product, but no one knows who they are. They could just throw it out there and hope for the best, but my product will still stand because they've seen the years and years of work, the years of like me promoting it and actually working hands on with them.
Well,
That's what people.
but you've also leveraged, and I don't want you to diminish it, you're leveraging your customers. And that's the secret because when I was in the SaaS space for decades, I wasn't the world's greatest prospector. I could do it and I did it, but I was the world's greatest guy that converted my customers, my distributors, my suppliers into my sales team. And once you get that momentum going, I got the plaques on the wall from being top sales guy because of the fact that I had a team of my ecosystem promoting me. And so my fastest orders for 60, one of them 60,000 bucks. I've said it many times on the guy called me up and said, Jack says I need to buy this stuff. How much? How fast can you get it in here? And that 30 minutes was putting together the order form for this guy. And then once we put it together, I used his fax machine because I'm dating myself a bit back, but I used his fax machine to fax it to corporate so that we could get it delivered as quickly as possible. So your competition really, unless they're leveraging that asset, and you are, and I want to really emphasize, that's what's propelling your growth.
Because the product is, I say, it's new, it's trendy, it's versatile. It's just such a new idea that everyone is starting to, the ones that do know about it are catching on to it and they want to learn about it. They're like, oh, wow, there's something else out there. And that's why I'm working with senior brands and they're partnering up with me because they see the benefits of this, right? Like they can see it really changing a lot of lives, especially people that can't afford it. And there are people that can't wear hearing aids. They just are allergic to the material. Their ears are too narrow, it falls out, or it's too tight, right? They don't like the fit. So those people are perfect candidates as well, right? They get allergies, rashes, right? Yeah. Big market.
Yeah, good. As we wrap up here, Michael, how can people find you?
Yeah, they can check me out on www.theinnerflow without the W, FLO.com or .ca. I just finally got my .ca up and running, so double the SEO, and then we cater to 140 countries right now. We can ship it anywhere. The problem is Canada Post is on strike in Canada, but hopefully they come back soon and working again. But and my Instagram, the Flow Group, so they can check out new content, collaborations, and just different stories, testimonies, life-changing stories, all on there.
Great conversation.
Thank you.
And we'll definitely make sure all the information is in the show notes. And would definitely love to have you on the show down the road again.
Thank you so much.
To see where you're at and on your journey.
For sure, 100%. Thank you, Freddy.
One of the biggest takeaways from today's conversation with Michael is this. Real growth happens when you listen to the people you serve and then build around what they actually need. Michael didn't just create a product. He created impact by turning feedback into innovation, accessibility, and trust. And for service-based business owners, that's the edge. When you stop guessing and start listening, your clients don't just buy, they become superfans. That's how momentum compounds, and that's how leadership is built, and that's how businesses grow with purpose. If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss future episodes of Business Superfans, the Service Provider's Edge. Don't wait another minute. Join the Entrepreneur Prosperity Hub right now on School, completely free, and claim your free Service Provider Prosperity Playbook, a 100-plus page guide designed to help you turn service into scalable, predictable prosperity. Join us at school, skool.com/eProsperityHub. Inside, you'll get conversations, tools, weekly growth plays, and help you shift from doing everything yourself to leading a business that works smoothly, predictably, and profitably. Thanks for listening today. I'm grateful you're here, part of the Business Superfans mission. Remember, one action, one stakeholder, one superfan closer to lasting prosperity.
We hope you took away some useful knowledge from today's episode of the Business Superfans podcast. Join us on the next episode as we continue guiding you on your journey to achieve flourishing success in business.